What's up, guys? I'm Evan Cry, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over my first day at the Anime Expo and just really giving you guys some advice for at least the streams going on how to get your own Rebecca having a moment Nova Rare event promo. Um, yeah, just going to walk through my day, give some general advice about LA, the convention center, and yeah, hopefully some of it's helpful to you, but if not, my bad. Just start off though with my day. I got there about 7 a.m. To the Mahoko Gate on Figueroa Street. The streets were already like jam packed, standstill with traffic wise for cars, and then with people, there were at least 1,000 or so that I could already see. At least on that entrance, it was already pretty packed when I got there. So, and I was about 2 or so hours out. Um, yeah, then they'll put you in the lines pretty much. That'll break down like 30 minutes out pretty much. Yeah, it's basically just tape on the floor and they're asking you to adhere to it. And then the second someone breaks off to rush to the exit or the entrance rather, basically the whole crowd's going to go. So just probably best to just go with it. To be honest, there wasn't really any like consequences to not. And yeah, pretty much all the lines just broke down and it became like a wave of people moving towards the entrance. So I'd expect something like that again, especially with what's probably going to end up being more people on each consecutive day from now on, except for maybe Saturday because that's July 3rd. But it's Anime Expo is sold out all days, at least from what I could tell. So take that how you will. Once you get into the center, though, you're gonna go through like the metal detectors. You're gonna scan in with your pass, get in. There's gonna be steps leading upwards, at least in the South Hall. They'll have like anime characters on and be colored different colors. There's different lines kind of leading up to it. They filled up not too quickly, but in like the first 5 to 10 minutes, it was already at least a decent line of people going backwards. Mainly, there's like a left line, a middle line, and a right line. I don't know if like the middle line was. Oh, and then also if you're like a premium holder or whatever, the passes you go up, and then you get into like a sideways entrance on the upwards. So if that's you, then yeah. But otherwise, you're probably going to want to be going to either the left line or the middle line. Because for me, and today actually, the left line started going up the first, so that couple of people started going up, and then about 1 to 2 minutes after that, the middle line started going up, and that was going the fastest because there was the escalator, and then the people walking and the escalator pushing them upwards just helped speed that up. And then the one on all the way to the right, that one started going the last. Um, that was the one I was in, so that's fun. But it could be the same, could be different. Um, this was the staff's first day as well, so now they kind of know how it works to smoothen it out for the rest of the days. Um, and then once you get in, the CD Projekt Red booth is on the left. It's behind the Sega booth and to the left of the Bushy Road booth. If you're looking at the map on your phone for like the Anime Expo app or whatever, then it's like there's a orange section and then there's a cyan section to the left, and it's like right to the right of the border between the two colors, generally kind of southwards more, closer to you. It's not too hard to get to, but expect it to be a little bit of a mad rush if you're getting in there right when it opens. Um, yeah, the booth wasn't too busy when I got there though. Just in general, there were a couple people trying to sign up for demos. Some people already getting in line for the merch and stuff, which is kind of expected. But mainly, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't too busy. A lot of people were going for the other booths, like Good Smile Link or just yeah, other booths in general. Um, there may be a long line though if you get there later. That was like wrapped around the whole booth pretty much. That was for the The merch bit, that's towards the back end, and then the actual like demo booth, you'll probably see that first. It's closer to the doors, on the right side, and it's literally just like a table. They got two papers with QR codes, one for weird crew members, one for just regularly wanting to demo it. So have your like a screenshot up or the Kickstarter open where it'll show like you and I think it was 50,000 or whatever the number was amount of people backed it, because just to like show them proof, and then yeah, you just kind of sign up. I wish I could tell you how that process goes, but I had technical issues and I just had one of the team help me out and sign up for me. So kind of flying blind on that front, and I'm not going to give you advice that like I don't really know anything about. Um, and then the talking about the demo itself, it's capped at 30 minutes. It seems like there's about 30 people or so per demo session. There's a couple tables there, and then it's like 6 people per kind of table installment, and then one of the Weird Crew team or Weird Co team kind of like guiding you through it. So maybe about like 30, 40-ish people per demo session, so per 30 minutes. Um, that time includes getting to the playing area, finding a seat, opening your deck, shuffling, and explaining the rules. And then at least how my table did it was the guy guided us through our first like my opponent's first turn and then my first turn because I was going second. And then also, if they're new to the game, they probably don't know how to play that well, or just in general. So that is gonna also add on a little bit more time. So likely you're gonna get 2 to 4 turns if we're being honest. Not too much, but you do get to keep the demo decks, which is nice to like play test it in the hotels or just with some friends or just people in general that have the decks that were interested in it. Um, that's pretty nice. The box looks like this. It'll have like a little like plastic circle seal here that you just kind of peel off, open it, and then I got the Embracing Power deck. It'll come like this, just a bunch of cards, and then it'll have two kind of helping cards on the back, just like Magic the Gathering packs, kind of, or just in general. Gives you a little bit about the turn structure, the glossary, how to win, um, what to do on a turn, and stuff like that. And then the decks themselves are the same 3 legends as before, at least for Embracing Power. Yeah, for both of them. The decks have some new cards. It's about 30 card decks or so. I didn't check if the RAM values still work. I'm pretty sure they still do. Let me shuffle through this really quick. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the decks are actually legal now. Um, yeah, they're so like the RAM values hold. This is kind of aside from the card count, it's essentially what you'd expect an actual deck to kind of look like. And then yeah, it's at least how I found it was that it was also helpful when you're playing to talk through and kind of explain your actions or your turn to your opponent, just to kind of give them an example, and it like kind of helps them gear into the game and really kind of get into the flow of things, just understanding it in general. Um, yeah, like I said, there will also be reference cards, so that's pretty helpful to just kind of point to or just using it as an example for them, and then they have their own as well. So just kind of pointing that out to them, helpful. Um, Mainly though, please be nice to the newbies because this could literally be their first experience with the game or just even hearing about it in general. And if you're just kind of like rude to them or like just smurfing them and absolutely stomping them, then maybe they don't want to play as much. So just tone it down a little bit if you kind of know how to play already, would be my advice. Of course, I can't hold you to it. I can only ask that you do, really. Um, and then after the event, basically they'll call time. You'll get up from your table. You'll get to take the demo decks and you'll go over to like a side table towards the exit. Um, Then there will be another QR code that you got to scan. That'll take you to a page where you put in your email address and then press submit. And then basically you show the screen that pops up to one of the Weird Code team there, and then they will take your pass, punch like a hole in the corner here, so you can't just farm promos or demo decks. I imagine. I don't know if you can demo more than once. I didn't ask my I didn't ask myself, so I can't tell you yes or no on that fact. But yeah, at least for the promos, you can't get more than one unless you like get another pass somehow or something. Um, and then yeah, like I said, you'll get the promo. It comes in the same packaging as like the alpha boxes, just this kind of same plastic. And then yeah, that's really it. There is, however, in an Ultra Pro booth in the West Hall. It's about a 10-minute walk from South or so. They have penny sleeves, they have top loaders, and they have one-touch card holders, which is what this is. And then on the inside bit, that's like a Dragon Shield inner sleeve. So they're not selling those there, but if you want just like a general penny sleeve, they'll have those. Um, I'd advise that you at least like bring a top loader or something like that to fit it in, because it's a lot better than just hoping it doesn't get like bent in the plastic. So, or I mean, that's if you even care about the condition. Maybe you don't really care if it's like half chewed, you know. Um, and then some general LA or just general advice, I guess, from what I could tell. Little thing though is I'm not like an avid con goer or whatever you would call it. Like I haven't been to a convention in probably years at this point, to be honest. So at least from what I have like found, and just general advice that I'd give to someone is to bring your own food and water, because you can do that. It doesn't have to be, the water doesn't have to be factory sealed. The food can just be like a sandwich that you pick up at 7-Eleven that's like in a little plastic bin or whatever. You can't bring in bulk, so you can't bring in like a 24 pack of monsters in your bag or something like that. But as long as it's for like personal consumption or whatever, then it's pretty fine. And the security was really light. It was essentially just you walk through a metal detector and that's it. And then if you have a bag, you walk through another metal detector and that's it. There weren't really any bag checks being performed at all. It was really just kind of trying to keep the flow of people going. So not too tough on that front. Um, so I mean, if you really wanted to, you could probably bring in like a couple monsters or whatever. But yeah, I mean, might as well just trust the honor system and abide by it. Other advice is, at least for me, it was really nice to just take some time and sit outside the halls, kind of rest my legs, decompress. Um, yeah, just that in general, because it's really packed in there. Maybe you're used to it. I'm personally not really, so that was just pretty helpful. If you try to sit inside, like towards the doors or the walls, then like sometimes they would, like one of the workers would come by and say it was a fire hazard or like a safety hazard, so they'd like kick you up. Or main thing was like sitting, so you can't really sit down inside the halls. You have to sit on the outside in those halls. Um, so yeah, but you should be able to sit down for like at least 10 minutes inside if you really need to. And if you really need to, I'm sure you can like get a little bit more time from the workers too. Um, at least for tomorrow too, which is Friday, I would recommend that you get there and sign up for your demo as soon as possible, mainly to ensure that you get a demo session and by extension the promo card before 2 p.m. when Miss Cesara shows up, or Quizara, however you say it. I apologize if I said it wrong. Um, or the Rebecca voice actor, just because out of all the days, I'd expect Friday to be the kind of most mad rush to the booth to get a demo time slot before then. I don't know a concrete number how many slots are left or how fast they're going to fill up. So that's really kind of up to you how much you like value getting it signed by her, how much you want to risk it. Um, But if you do, then yeah, I'd suggest showing up ASAP. Um, and then just have fun in general. It's a convention. It's supposed to be fun, so try not to get too caught up in everything and like getting everything on the checklist done that you need to, and just having a good time. If you're there with friends, just hanging out with them or just kind of taking in the environment. And then some general LA advice, because I've been to LA at least 100 times by now. I live pretty close, about 2 hour drive or so with traffic, so not the most. And then I've been for like a bunch of events and whatnot. Um, First off, some like at least my advice for transport is to park at the Metro Union or the LA Union Station. That's capped at about, if you, it depends on where you park for it. Union Station East is capped at about $8 maximum per 24-hour period. Um, I think so. They could be upping that for like the expo days. I'm not entirely sure. To my knowledge, they're not, but I'd look into it yourself a little bit. And then if you park at Union Station West, then it's capped at $16 maximum per 24-hour period, which is still pretty cheap, that or definitely cheaper compared to like the private lots that are around the expo that you'll find. And then if you do that, you're gonna have to take the metro line to and from, and then walk a little bit, which will take you about 25 to 30 minutes. It's the Metro A line train going southbound to Long Beach. You take that from Union Station to the Pico stop, you get off, and then it's maybe like a 5 minute walk to Figueroa Street, along with like stopping for crosswalks and all that jazz. So not too long. Um, yeah, and then that Metro A line runs from about 4:30 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. So really early, really late. Should be open when like generally when you want to leave, unless you're overnighting or I don't know actually like what's the latest you can be there, but odds on you should be fine. Um, Getting to and from Union Station time wise for that. And then the fare both ways is 175. It's you get a card like a at a tap card at a tap vending machine or a TVM. It'll be like if you start to go down one of the like the train routes or bus routes, there's little like kind of vending machines to the sides, both sides. Um, Pretty sure they accept like Apple Pay or just kind of digital pay. Could be wrong on that, so just be aware. But yeah, that's generally the kind of what I'd recommend. Also because it gets you out of the traffic really close too. And then, well, you still have to deal with LA traffic. It's not too bad near Union Station, or it's at least just less worse than it could be. And you're saving at least a little money, most likely as well. And then, a little other advice is if like there's like red hot dog carts outside with like the grill on top, highly recommend that you don't eat the hot dogs. Um, I don't even know what they're selling them for nowadays. I think it's like $10. Even when it was five, it's still like pretty iffy. Um, they the hot dogs that you see there are like bacon wrapped, and they'll give you a bunch of stuff or whatever. But if the ones that they don't sell, they literally just throw them in a plastic bag, and then they just reheat them like at the next event. They're not like, maybe they refrigerate them once they get home, but it's not like above board at all. So unless you are fine with rewarmed hot dogs and getting the runs the next morning, then I would generally advise you to steer clear of that. Um, Pretty common LA experience, but when you run into a tweaker or fent head or junkie, whatever you prefer to call them, don't make eye contact, because that's, I mean, just yeah, it's best to just ignore them and keep walking. The second you make eye contact, they're probably going to engage with you and try to get you to give them some spare change. Is the most common kind of experience you'll run into there. So yeah, best to just kind of keep walking. Obviously, don't bump into them. Um, definitely don't antagonize them because you don't know what they can do or what they will do. Yeah, watch out for general crime as well. LA is a big city. Big cities always have increased crime rates, so pickpockets, just thieves, stuff like that in general. Make sure your stuff is secure. You know where your phone is. You got like a little bit of your focus on your bag if you have a bag. Um, Probably better not to have too many valuable things in your back pockets because that's kind of one of the more targeted um, areas, I guess you could say. I don't really know how to clarify it on that, but yeah, just be generally aware of your stuff and your surroundings. If anyone looks shady, best to give them a wide berth. If they brush against you, that's probably typically when it happens. So just really be aware of that. Yeah, if you don't trust anyone and the way they look, that's to just kind of keep track of your stuff, give them as much room as possible to avoid them. Yeah, and just not engage in general. Um, and then last little thing, ending on a good note, is if you're going to Little Tokyo, which I do recommend you do, it's a pretty nice place. I recommend that you go to the Fugetsu Do Bakery shop and you try some of their mochi because that's really good, at least in my opinion. My favorite flavors are blueberry and pink, which sounds a little funny saying it, but they're both pretty good. Of course, to each their own, but if you are going to Little Tokyo, I'd recommend that you stop there for a little treat or whatever, if it's in your budget, of course. Um, but yeah, it's generally one of the better kind of areas in LA and just kind of food areas. Um, and yeah, that's it for this. If you have any further questions, drop them down in the comments. I'll try to answer them best I can. Um, Not omnipotent, so I can't answer every question you got. Some questions are just going to be like something weird Co knows and no one else does. But yeah, I mean, if you got any questions about LA or just like the place in general, I'll do my best to answer them, but no promises on that front. And yeah, just again, have a fun time. It's should be a fun experience, fun event for you all. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Peace, James. Ciao.